had to let Justice go with his mother. So I want to hop back on here and actually see if I could complete this Bible study. I got into Burnout and God's Invitation to Rest, days 5 and 6, and channel went crazy. So it was cool because a lot of the people that I feel like should have, well, there we go, I got my channel on, but people should have been watching were, especially some people that had questions about, I guess, different religious denominations, unbelievers, people that were maybe borderline worshiping Satan or didn't believe in God. So I feel like that was really interesting just to see that huge perspective shift. So I'm going to try to finish days 5 and 6 on this Bible study, but if there's Q&A, so for those of you joining, if there's Q&A, then by all means hop on in and throw me your comments, throw me your prayers. Ended up praying for the medical community earlier. I know there's a lot out there. I mean, I think medical community got like, they have it bad, but they had it really bad during COVID. Just because there's so many opinions and it's like everybody's so quickly to judge them rather than just sit back and, I mean, give patience to people to, make their own decisions, right? So I'm big on freedom. You'll learn that. But anyways, let me get into this Bible study. So this is days 5 and 6. So it's actually the end of this Bible study. So those of you that have any other good topics, I actually saw some really good ones with people mentioning earlier, like what's the difference between, like being Protestant, being Catholic, what about Jewish and Islamic? So I thought those were awesome, and I would love to dig into that. I'm not qualified whatsoever with any level of education that would probably be meaningful for like a, biblical scholar or whatnot, but I'm willing. So I'm willing to dive in. I actually say that I do a pretty good job doing my own due diligence. So we'll see if that holds water here shortly. But so I started this off and it turned into a really big Q&A, but we're going to get into the devotional. And so this is just continuing day 5 of, let's see, what did I call it on here? Burnout and God's Invitation to Rest. So it says, settle into your identity in Christ. Burnout is a sure sign of a misplaced identity. Think about it. The highly motivated, cutthroat young attorney, she's likely entangled her self-worth with success at work. The young man plagued by saying yes to anyone who asks him for anything. He's likely defining himself by his helpfulness. I feel like that a lot. I get my value from what I can do for people, like the value add. I see some comments. Hey guys, hi Sarah. I can't see your name in the comments. Millie Martin, you love a short king. Not that short. I'm sitting down, but sitting down, I'm okay with that. Hello from Germany. I think I'm going to Germany. But yeah, this is made by one of my friends, actually, a camping shirt. So thank you, Nathalie. And hey, Marcus, Anthony, I think, Anthone, and Rodriguez, you're from Venezuela. Welcome, guys, from all over the world. We're doing Bible study today, but hello from England, Muzdog, Barbados. Yes, Nathalie. Okay. Here, Germany has amazing artists. I will let you know once I go there. My buddy works for a golf shop, so I'm gonna go get to check that out. But we're doing Bible study. I didn't get to finish it because we had such a great conversation in the last session. So my day's going good. Thank you for the compliment on the ring. So I'm Scottish. I'll show you if I can get it off, but it's my Scottish clan insignia. So let's see if I can. So it actually says spem successus alit around the outside, which if any of you know your Latin, that's hope nourishes success, or success nourishes hope. I actually think it's super cool, but it was originally a wedding ring, and I'm no longer married, so it's just turned into a cool piece of jewelry. This one is actually pretty cool. This one was actually originally Masonic. You could actually see like the little dragon insignia, but my great-great-grandfather didn't like the secrecy of that society, so you can see on the bottom it was a tie pin, this W on the front, and so took out the Masonic emblem and put that in there. It was actually pretty interesting. But hello, shout out to Aga Caesar vlogs from the Philippines. And yeah, I mean, there are a few people that don't love camping, Nathalie, but and thank you for your subscription, Aga Caesar vlogs. But yeah, Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. That's what I'm preaching. I'm not really a pastor, but I'm actually doing a Bible study, so I think it's super interesting. But Siddiqui, hello, and shout out to your sister Shian vlogs. How you guys doing? Welcome. I think Nathalie, I think it's just the camera. My my camera's not very good. It's just on a cell phone, so don't judge me. I'm just operating within my budget for now. Hello from, is that Brazil, I think? And I don't know what the little hearts are, but thank you. And and then Jesus is a prophet. We'll get into that. Yeah, well, I mean, we're operating in, I guess the grace that God's given us to be here and being blessed, right? Panda Man, how are you doing? Welcome back. And yeah, make a cross or this if you're. That's my experience in the Catholic Church. So, thank you guys for coming back. We can get into this. I'm at least going to read a little bit. I'll come back to the comments in a minute, but this is all about burnout. So those of you that have been working really hard, welcome. When burned out, we're not fully resting in our identity as God beloved, already accepted children who have nothing to prove. So just rest in your Christ-given identity there. Easy solution, right? Yeah, no, we won't pretend it's easy. And the truth is, none of us are going to arrive when it comes to resting in the identity that Jesus won for us. We have seasons where we relax into it more. We might even have aspects of that identity that we're settling into, but others we will struggle with for our entire lives. Oh, fun. So let's see. Is it? Oh, you're okay. So AJ, you're Muslim. Yeah, I mean, and I think that it's a common misbelief that you guys don't believe in Jesus, but you do. I was actually just talking to somebody during the last chat, and I was going to say, hey, I would love to get into that. Like, what's the difference between the Bible and the Quran? Just see the intersection there. And Aga Caesar, you're welcome. And I'm definitely not an idol. Please don't idolize me. But definitely I'm going to do more videos if you guys have ideas for content. And actually, depending on how old you are, my son's 11, so he routinely comes on and does Bible studies with me. So it's just to deepen our faith life, our understanding, and why we're here, what we're supposed to be doing, right? So I think that we're supposed to be adding purpose and meaning to this, and significance to, I guess, ultimately glorify God with our actions and how we live our life. but I think that the Bible's fascinating. So we had a crazy discussion last time on it, talking about how violent it was. Very violent. I mean, those of us that know, I mean, AJ, you probably know that too. Like the holy wars, right? Difference of faith and people going to wars. I don't think it's worth that, but I mean, to each their own, right? So I'm going to get back into this. I'll come back to the comments here in a minute, but you don't have to arrive to start experiencing God's rest. Start by thinking through what's true of your identity in Christ. You are secure in Him. He is your refuge. He includes you. He delights in you. You have His approval. You are significant to Him. He gives you meaning. You can rest in His finished work. He takes all of your guilt. You are free to be in Him, and He accepts you. Let's circle back to the top of that list and read it again slowly. What truth is in your heart pulled toward? Now consider what might look different about your week if you really leaned into believing it was true. If you're confident in your significance to God, maybe you don't put as much stock in getting your boss to notice you. If God went out of His way to include you, maybe you can pass when you're asked to join an off-campus outing and you know it's only because you have a car. And if God is your refuge, there are probably a lot of other things. It says caffeine or Netflix. I mean, there's way more than just that too. You've been running to that you could skip out. And by embracing your identity in Christ and saying no to the other things God is freeing you from, you might find that you reclaim enough time to rest in God with more consistently. So, AJ, thank you for joining us. Maybe you can shed some light if we end up with that, I guess, the different religions conversation, if you'd like to. So you're welcome back. And then Nathalie, believing helped me a lot in life. Sorry, I can't understand every word in English, but I can read it. You're doing good though, so good work. But I think believing, faith is the beginning. If you think about anything, I mean, we don't just get up one day and feel like, all right, things are just going to happen the way that they're supposed to. Many times it takes an act of faith to build the momentum into that, but that's exactly where I land on it. And Ben, I guess I'm a Viking. I'm mostly Scottish and Irish, I think, but they say that there is a Viking influence. So the last part of this devotion is talking about Jesus. I know that this exhaustion and burnout is a symptom of me trying to build my own identity. Reveal to me what it would look like different this week if I believe the things around me that are true because I'm yours. And I grow more confident in the identity you've already secured for me. Let me experience peace and relief. So I talked about that the last time. I've been through a period in life where I did not have peace, but I found out that was really highlighted when I went and I actually did seek peace and I did receive it. It's like having oxygen. You take it for granted until you don't have it, right? But this goes into Isaiah, so I'm going to just read the portion it suggests, but it's talking about in Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3, it says, "You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts you." So I think trust is also founded, it's like part of faith as well, right? So I think that's an interesting dynamic that just kind of plays heavily into it, I guess you could say. So let's see what else we have. A reading from Matthew. So Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 says, "Come to me, all who labor and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." So I find that interesting. I also had somebody else challenge me with the perspective that the burden being light is also another, like a biblical comparison of saying truth. So the burden is not necessarily like light, like lifting weights, but the burden is light as far as now I know what is true, so that is actually put upon me as far as something that I have to push forward with, knowing that these are the facts, this is how I live my life. But I feel like that yoke is easy, so we pick that up with him, and then we move forward. So thank you to those of you joining. We're just in the middle of the Burnout Bible study, actually the tail end of this Bible study. But so that was day 5, actually. So day 6, let's actually see how they wrap this up in the devotion. But it says, work from rest, don't rest from work. Want to know something that's fascinating about the human heart? It actively pumps or works 1/3 of the time. The other 2/3 it rests. During rest, the heart fills with blood and prepares for the next contraction. In other words, the heart rests to prepare for the next work it has to do. God designed this function of our hearts. We should take some notes. I actually think this is kind of interesting, but remember Ruth Haley Burton's description of good, tired from day one. Good, tired from day one. Okay, I'm reading that right. We put in a good day's work, then we recover. We go back to work rested and ready. We work from a place of rest. We don't rest from work. It's a subtle change to think of the way of it this way, but we do push suddenly, or we do. We suddenly, sorry, I can't read apparently. We're less likely to push through work until we crash, and we don't work again until we've rested. We hope you feel emboldened to radically embrace God's design for humans to rest a lot. We hope that moving forward, you'll be able to recognize when you slipped from good, dangerously tired. Revisit day 1 and memorize those symptoms. Note additional ones that are helpful for you. As a first practical step to starting in God, or to resting in God, protect some time, daily or weekly, to sit down with him. The acronym they gave us was RIG, and that's for resting in God. Review the comments you have and make better yeses by pulling back from things that aren't good for you right now. That's something that's a challenge for me, for sure. I could turn into a yes man way too easily, but if you guys ever watch Alex Hormozy, he talks about the season of no. It's actually really powerful too. But in a biblical perspective, I feel like this is super helpful. Recognize that burnout is a symptom of needing to lean more fully into the identity Christ has won for us, and trust God to walk with you as you do that. And finally, don't stress yourself out about rest. Really, it's going to be a long journey, and that's normal. Even a year of healthier rest rhythms won't instantly undo the past 15 years of unhealthy rhythms. And those of you that know, stress can be horribly toxic to your body. I think they have new studies coming out, which are always coming out, but they're talking about how stress causes cancer, heart disease, inflammation in the body, all sorts of things like that. So really not good for your health. Jesus, here I am. It's overextended, tired, burned out me, and I need deep restorative rest. This journey of leaning to pause and trust you more, like everything else, is something you'll take the lead on. And as I take steps forward, I need your spirit to guide me and to help me make wise decisions. Bless me with friends to walk alongside me. Give me support from loved ones as I set healthier boundaries to protect time for rest. I love you, Jesus. Thank you for offering me rest. Thank you for helping me accept that offer too. I feel like that's really good. So there's actually two little Bible verses that go with this. And that is, let's see, did I skip it? So Mark chapter 2, verse 27 says, and he said to them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not for the Sabbath. Therefore the Son of Man also Lord of the Sabbath. So we're all supposed to rest, even God, after he was busy creating the universe. And then in Hebrews, we're reading chapter 4, verse 9 through 11. There remains therefore rest for the people of God, for he who has entered his rest has also ceased from his works as God did from his. And let us therefore be diligent to enter that rest, lest anyone fall according to the same example of disobedience. So, therefore, there remains therefore a rest for the people of God, for he who has entered his rest has himself also ceased from his works as God did from his. I actually think that that's pretty cool. And I kind of just made that comment, but it's like, if he's got a rest and we're created in his image, then we're definitely coming back around to look at, all right, what is the importance of that? And if God rests, then why did he and why should we? But I always feel like, if you've ever tried to work tired, you just know that the quality of your work just really suffers. I realize the quality of my day suffers. So like I could be completely positive and uplifting and pouring into other people, or I can be angry, frustrated. My head literally hurts from the day that I'm having and lack of sleep. It's just all the way around. It's not a positive thing. So I would challenge you guys to really reevaluate your rest and the quality of it. Sleep quality is huge. I was actually really worried about that in this move. So I'm happy to see that my neighbors are good neighbors. They're quiet. They're respectful. I might actually be the noisy one here, but I'm just gonna have to talk to them and see if that's actually the case. But anyways, what would you guys like to do next Bible study on? Because we're done with that. And I know that I was given some really good topics, so let me see if I could find those. But I think one was, I think it was the differences between the Islamic faith, Catholicism, being a Protestant, Lutheran, all of these different denominations, and even Jewish too. So Nathalie, thank you so much for watching. I'll have to work on my German while I get ready to travel over there. So depending, maybe wherever you're at, maybe we'll make some time to meet up. I think I'll ask my buddy because I think I'm flying into Munich. But yeah, it would be a pleasure. We'll sit down. We'll do a Bible study in person if you want. So anyways, thank you for joining and sleep well. I think you're 8 hours ahead. So King problem, das wäre schon. I don't know what you're saying. I'll look it up though. I'm gonna write that down. Does that mean no problem? Das where Sean SCH. Also find all of the little accents over the words. That would be nice. Okay, awesome. Well, I'll look forward to it. I like to socialize and always, at least I'll have my Bible on my phone if I don't bring my other one. But you live next to, I'm probably butchering that, but Auction, is that right? And I don't know how mobile I'll be, but my buddy has a car, and I don't think everything's not spread out super far. But that would be delightful. So thank you for hanging in there and enjoy the rest of your evening. And but yeah, if nobody else has anything, I'll just close in prayer unless there's other questions or Bible study ideas. But let's just go with, dear God, thank you for today. We just ask for your rest and restoration. Just give us the ability to remain at peace when we shut our eyes and just recharge from the day. And we just ask that we rest well so that we can enter the next day with really strong momentum in a way that glorifies and honors you, God. And thank you for this Bible study, the opportunity to chat with these people. And I just pray your your veil of protection over them, as well as all of my friends, family, and loved ones. And God, we just lift this day up to you in your name. Amen. So anyways, thanks guys. Thank you for joining. And if, again, just drop me any information into the comments section, and look forward to chatting with you soon. Thank you. And you're welcome for the prayer. My pleasure. So talk to you guys soon. God bless.